Do you want to talk about the idea that you gave me earlier today, or is that under wraps? We're not telling people about it yet.
Oh, the Facebook group? No. So
this is brand new. You just hit me with this today.
I'm dreaming, oh, I believe in this dream I've been dreaming, oh, I'm dreaming, oh, I believe in this dream I've been dreaming, oh.
Mr. Marion Asanu in the house, helping me build my YouTube course up to the next level. Where are we at, man?
So last time we launched the webinar in a different format. We went into a webinar, which kind of gives the feel of a live class. We are right now around 3.2 ROAS, meaning, you put $1 in, you get 3.2 back, something like that.
Okay, so for
it's
every
still
dollar
okay.
we spend, we get $3.20 back.
Yeah.
And what do we? Is that good? Where do we want to be?
No,
I said yeah. Okay, keep going.
It's definitely good, right? Like at the end of the day, even if it's just you put $1 in, you get $2 out. How much you want to spend? You want to spend $1 million because you can get $2 million back. But that's where with everything that's going on and all that, it wasn't something that we felt confident to just pour in. Like let's say we spent, I think last month, it was around I don't even remember. I think 1,500 or 2K spent, and then the return was like 55 or something like that. So the only not that we were afraid of spending more, but we knew. I mean, we looked at the way that people were consuming, and then the way that the buyer behavior happened from this kind of quote unquote live class, right? So then we didn't feel super confident to just pour in 10x the amount of money, because me and you were talking. We said, okay, ideally we want to hit 100K as soon as possible. And I said, the way to look at it is just pure numbers. Like the first step is let's get to 15K consistently, 35, 50K, and then just double that up, right? But with what happened, with all the like pandemic, buyer behavior and all that online with the higher ticket products, and then we've seen this in like 2-3 different industries, both with real estate and then also another product with another company that we work in. They're selling, it's a sort of real estate investing, but it's really low. It's like $100 worth of product, right? So then we looked at, every time when we look at your budget, we say, let's compare to other industries and then see how people are buying, how people are consuming, the lead magnet. And then in our case was the webinar. So we didn't feel super confident to just increase the budget. Like we increased it slowly. So for example, if previously we're getting, let's say, I don't know, like 200 leads, then we just put an extra 10, 15%. I want more than you to spend way more to get more leads into it and make sure to like I want more than you to spend more money and then just get more leads. We just wanted to make sure that it's converting. So while we
so what are we seeing? And for people who are watching, kind of understanding, what are we seeing from the outside? To say, well, they're making $3 for every $3.20 for every $1. Why not? Why only go up 15% instead of 50% or 100%?
Yeah, because for a week we did increase up to like 50%. We got, and I think I sent you not too long ago a screenshot with like the lead cost and something like that. We did get a bunch more leads on top of the budget that we spent, but the sales conversion did not increase at the same level. So for example, we almost doubled just for like usually the way that we do this is we increase it 10, 15, 20%, but then we said, okay, let's put it for a couple of days and let's just see what happens. So we did increase the budget much higher. I think it was 50%, but it was only for like 3 or 4 days to see what happens. And then we realized, okay, we're getting a bunch of new leads at a super good cost. Like we were getting $4 to $5 webinar leads, which is insane. Like for this industry, for like internet marketing world, this is super good. But they were not buying the way that we want them to buy, or not at the same rate. So we were like that 3.2 ROAS went like boom, 1, right? So then we said, okay, let's scale back to not increase it that high, and let's see why. Let's see why that happened. And that's why, we talked about this. We said, okay, last time when we talked, we put this new web class into a webinar to kind of give the feel of a live class, to be able to retarget people, like if they watch 15%, if they watch 20%, if they watch 30%, right? So right now we had a 7 email series that goes out to them, and it did not convert how we expected to. So I thought that it's just gonna completely crush, because now every person that watches, let's say they bounce at 10%, they watch 15% that they bounce, they don't buy, meaning they bounce, they just go out. And then we send them different emails, but it just, it did not convert how I expected to. Therefore, we had to just be careful how we spend that budget. So that's my job, to make sure that if something doesn't go as we expected, to not just keep spending and not getting money back, right? It's not, I wish I would get, right? It's not just the lead cost. It's not, a lot of times I had this conversation with somebody this week and said, how much are we paying for clicks? To be honest, in this case, we don't even care how much we're spending to acquire the lead, even if it's as low as $1, if they don't buy. And then we've seen this behavior happening with, like the last 2 months, especially for higher ticket products, with with the pandemic and everything going on. Yes, the leads in multiple industries have increased like crazy because people have a lot of time of consuming, but they're just a little bit more price conscious on, okay, I don't know what's going on next month. How are we spending the money? How are we doing this and that? For like $1,000 product.
So one of the things we found with promoting the book is, at the beginning, we only did it to people who knew me, who were part of my Instagram followers or YouTube followers and that kind of stuff, email lists and all that. And then as we go to a more cold audience of people who don't know me, it becomes more expensive, right? Because people don't
to acquire,
more, and that's just going to be as you target more and more cold audiences, it becomes more expensive to acquire, and so the numbers don't quite match your first initial warm-up. Is that what we're doing? Is that where we're trying to reach new people who aren't as familiar, who may not care about his YouTube as much, who aren't coming from a certain platform, and that's why it's costing more?
That's the only reason why, because what happened was at the beginning, we were just focusing on your own YouTube subscribers and just showing the ads towards them, because it's a large audience. Mm-hmm. But then that's like, for example, even if the audience is that big, in order for us to be able to scale, we can just focus on your current audience, because you can only scale so much, right? People start seeing the ads more and more. It gets, the audience will get burned out after a while. And then we started to go after keywords. So we went after people searching for how to grow a YouTube channel. We went after direct competitors like Shan Cannell, Dara Leaves, I think Roberto Blake. So we picked, I think, 5 or 6 top competitors, and then we went after them. So then again, we were getting a bunch of leads, but we're not converting as we expected to. So we just wanted to, right now, what's happening is we implemented the book a call, and that's I guess at the beginning we talked about this. We didn't know exactly if this is actually going to happen, but then now it was time for it, because we wanted to hear from people straight over the phone. So I just, over the phone, usually we would only do this typically if it's $2,000 and more. But right now we said, no, let's just do it, because it's going to give us so much more insights of all right, if you didn't buy, why? And then usually over the phone, it's a different trust factor, because people they jump over the phone. So they have to go through 2 different hooks. They book a call, and then they have to actually submit a form. So then people that don't submit the form, they're not even allowed. They'll be canceled, basically, the phone calls. But it's a disclaimer in there.
I was in a group of high-level internet marketers, and one of the things they were talking about with YouTube ads, and maybe we're doing this, I don't know, is YouTube allows you to do sequential ads, where they're not seeing the same ad 8 times. If they've seen the first one already, then you show them the second one. If they haven't seen the first one, you show them the first one. Are we doing that? Should we do that? Does that matter? What's your take?
So it wasn't necessarily the only thing that we may consider doing this for your strategy. Every time when we get to, let's say we spend, I don't know, $50,000 a month just on YouTube ads alone. Well, at that point, we'll realize like, okay, now we need to switch how many ads people are seeing. So at this point in time, it's no need for that. It's called the sequence ad, if I'm not wrong, inside of YouTube ad. But it's not. There's no need for that now. It's a place and time where the people are just like max out. We're not getting leads anymore. Our problem is not that. We're getting leads. We're getting new leads every day. Our problem is not getting leads.
It's converting the leads to.
It's the converting into the program. So that's why, and we talked about this before. That's why we said, let's not mess around too much with the ads, because the ads are bringing like every step basically sells the other step. The video ad that you do sells into getting on the page. We're getting the click on the page. They convert into leads. They're converting into leads. Are they watching the webinar? So they're watching the webinar until a certain point, and then we shorten the webinar a little bit. What happens? Where is the step that we don't like? Well, it seems that they're not converting from buying from that webinar straight. Okay, so let's focus on that. So that's why we did the book a call strategy. So for us, it's not, the problem is not getting leads. That's like the ads, the sequence ad comes into place where, like you got to a point where you got like, tens of thousands of leads, and now you kind of need to focus on the same audience. So you don't want to show them the same ad every time. Mm-hmm. So at that point, we would have like 3-4 different ads into the same type of sequence campaign. But no, right now we don't need it. It's not our problem yet.
So has the call strategy started, or we're about to start that, or where are we at with that?
We just so it starts on the actual webinar. We're not changing anything on the campaign. It's just what happens is on the webinar they're not purchasing anymore. They still have an option to purchase in an email. So then the follow-up campaign, it just focuses on getting them to book calls.
Okay, and that's already live.
So yeah, the buttons are in there. So yesterday we just switched the offer on the webinar. So people, they're ready to book calls.
Okay, but so it's brand new. So it's basically just up since yesterday, the calls.
Yeah, the offer was just swapped like last night.
Got it. Okay, so we don't have data yet.
We don't have book calls yet because it's like literally a couple hours since it went live.
So next time we'll have more data on how's it going.
We'll get the main reason that we wanted this is just to hear straight from people. Like, okay, what are you? Because what's your concern? Oh, I don't have a YouTube channel yet. All right, so let's focus on that. Let's focus on that strategy and see what can you do with your YouTube channel. Like, what's your business model like? Because a lot of people, right? Like some people will get the webinar, they'll watch it, but they don't know exactly how they fit that into their business model. What's the monetizing part? Maybe even though you talk about 8 ways, I think, of monetizing it, maybe they didn't get to that point because it's like, 37 minutes in or something like that.
Yeah, in my head, I'm wondering if, I think it's great talking to people and just seeing what the feedback is. I wonder if that's worth whatever they say as their questions.
But it's not just for gathering feedback like these, and we're clear about this. This is it's not a coaching call. Like it's clear that this is, let's talk about it. Book a call if you're serious about growing your YouTube channel and YouTube.
Right. But
influence.
There's something, by the time that they got there, they watched the ad, they watched the webinar, which is like tons of value in the webinar. Have they gone through the 4-day sequence, like the value sequence of 4-day mini videos too, or we stopped that for now?
So that we implemented that into the follow-up.
Oh, okay. So they're getting that. So that's just, it's tons of value and content that's been baked in, right? So I love it. Like if they're on the call and they still have other questions, then maybe we missed something in the content.
And we can change the webinar based on that too.
Right. So change the webinar, or even I could also record if everybody's saying, hey, but how do you X? How do you do this on YouTube? Like, oh, that's what people are asking? Then I could make a video just on that we could put in the
like a follow-up video. Yeah.
Yeah. Or even like a choose your own adventure chatbot or something for people who are saying, hey, do you have a question? Do you have any of these 3 questions about the boot camp? And then here's what Evan has to say about it. And then here comes this video. If we know that we're getting the same kind of questions over and over and over again, it's probably not that hard to answer the question if we haven't done a good job. And maybe it is already buried in the webinar and that they just never got that far because it's talking about it at the 40-minute mark and they leave after 15 or something. So we can like clip it. But I just love it. I love getting the feedback from the customers or potential customers. There was something that there might be some bit of trust factor. Say, I don't want to just order over the internet, but there's something that we didn't do a good enough job in our sales process yet, that by hearing them, we can tweak it and make it better and send out emails and make more videos. Any topic around YouTube, I'll be able to make a video on it and address it to help alleviate.
Yeah, and then and my whole goal on this is also wanting to hear is it just right like because we'll have like a share screen with the YouTube bootcamp open up, right? So then they'll have a questions about it. They'll have a question about it. We'll be able to just show it on the screen. My main thing, and I hope in a way that's the problem. I just hope that they'll say, hey, we just want maybe more support. So then at that point, maybe we can tweak the actual price point in a way that it's a little bit a higher ticket that involves a little more, not customization, but maybe, for example, if they have a question about, hey, I want to submit this thumbnail, can I? So then maybe we just, they can either send it in a group or maybe, right? Because at some point in time, this is not just a course because you go there live once a month. Mm-hmm. But maybe they just need some more attention. I don't know. I'm curious to find out,
the thing is, for every one person who calls in and actually fills out the form and everything else, there's 25 people who don't call in who have the same question.
So what we have also added is one more question, one more email at the end that actually says, so if you're getting this email, it means that you watched the webinar and you haven't booked the call and you haven't invested in can you please let us know why? Right. So then we have one email that actually goes out the last time.
And even for that, there's going to be people, for every one person who writes in with a response, there's 25 people who never respond, but have the same question. So if we know what the question is, we can address it for everybody else, right? Either in the sequence or in the webinar itself.
And then also we'll see, because on the form, they have to put their YouTube channel and the income that they've, approximate income that they've generated for the last 2 years. So for example, we'll also see, all right, what type of people are we attracting? Is it mainly people that want to grow their YouTube channel as a hobby? Is it people that want to build an online business, but they don't know that YouTube can actually be part of generating leads type of process? Is it right? So based on that, after I would say we don't need more than 50 calls to see. And then another way it can happen is just people may end up just purchasing real quick from a phone call, because of course, usually phone calls is from $2,000 and up. However, for this case, if we see that this just works like clockwork, we'll just make that as the main thing, and then we'll book them half an hour back to back. So if we see that this just happens, we'll just build this in, and then maybe we can, we'll work on adding a couple other factors into the course, and we'll double the price, right? If let's say it involves a mandatory one-on-one call, or a mandatory 2 one-on-one calls for every person that joins, well, then at that point we can make it a mandatory $2,000 program. instead of leaving it at one, right? If we see that the call just converts like clockwork, all right, then we know it's. That's why I like to take decisions based on the data that we get from it.
Cool. So I mean, we're launching it. We'll see how it works and get some data
100%.
to report back. Do you want to talk about the idea that you gave me earlier today, or is that under wraps? We're not telling people about it yet.
Oh, the Facebook group? No. So I wanted this. I think
this is brand new. You just hit me with this today.
Yeah. So I talked to about the challenge and the Facebook group, both, or just the Facebook group?
Well, the challenge we'll see, because I can't necessarily commit to that.
Yeah,
but,
okay.
I mean, one of the great things about Marion is he's always thinking about. He's never happy with what is. He's always thinking about, like, what else can we do? What else can we tweak? What else can we try? Which is great. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's always great to have the influx of new ideas. So today he comes, messaged me on Facebook. It's like, I want to do this. Is there a way to implement it? So what's the new idea?
Yeah, so I mean, we actually, it's not like super new, because we briefly talked about this before we even launched. The idea of a free Facebook group. And we talked right at the beginning, and you said, I already have, this many Facebook groups. I don't know if we can manage another one. So today I said, okay, we're getting, so many people that watch the webinar, people that watch the 4-day video series. Let's create a Facebook group. Let's get everybody, or at least invite them into the Facebook group. These are super targeted people. They just want to learn about YouTube, and they watch your webinar. But time to time, people just, maybe they don't have the funds now, or they're a little bit on the fence, so that they want to see, or maybe they have one more question or something like that. So then we create this Facebook group, and then like a ton of them. However, this is not a sub for sub type of Facebook group. It's just people watching the webinar or watching the 4-day series, or right now people before they book a call or they have a question or something. So we'll do, at least for now, we agreed to do, twice per month. We'll allow people to ask questions in the group, and then we'll bring them in an IG Live Q&A, and then we answer people. We answer all the questions that people have. So the reason that I truly believe that this is really a great idea is it's the idea of a community. I mean, you're the master of this, because you've you've built so many movements, I guess. So having this community of people, we know that they're targeted. These are just not all your fans. They're not all your subscribers. Are just some overlap audiences of people that like you and they want to learn about YouTube. So, they'll submit questions in there. Twice a month, they'll get the chance to get, their question answered, like specifically about YouTube. It can be how to make money on YouTube. It can be all kinds of things. And even that feedback helps a lot with the follow-up, or maybe even with the ads that we're creating. Maybe some people, we'll get feedback from them.
All of those questions could be in follow-up email sequences too. As a
one standalone video, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So the idea is we invite people to a Facebook group. I guess you have to figure out why would they want to join? Like, what's going to happen in the Facebook group? So we work on the wording, I guess, for that. But they get invited to a Facebook group, and we say, hey, twice a month, everyone's going to answer your questions. Leave them here in the comments. There's no other, I guess, like, we're not creating other content for that Facebook group apart from making the videos every 2 weeks.
However, we don't like brand new content. But however, for example, even the follow-up videos, they'll be natively posted in the group without, because you don't have any intros for those, but we'll have them posted natively inside the group. So some people, they'll just consume it and they feel more confident watching it in there, because they know, like, okay, like Evan actually posted this video right here for us, for the community that's interested about learning about YouTube, right? We don't create, like brand new content, but this is, it's not necessarily something, it's not a new strategy. I mean, this has been around for a while now. It's just that Facebook groups become so, let me back it up, because I haven't mentioned one thing. You can create units in the Facebook group. So that was my idea, my first idea.
Okay.
You can actually create units the same way that we have the 4-day series. So when people join the group, we ask, you can ask 3 questions. So one question would be, what's your YouTube channel? Have you watched the webinar? Yes or no? What's your business model like? So when they join, it's a pinned post that will invite them to watch all the units. So the units will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 4-day video series, and then the last one would be the webinar. So then on the webinar at the end, the actual pinned comment would be book a call.
Okay.
So then some people may not watch the full thing on the actual webinar, but then they'll join the group.
Mm-hmm.
So then they'll probably watch it in the group. And then also it'll be people sharing success stories out of, like, I think today I saw your discovery ad on YouTube where it's about the testimonials. And then in the comments, it was one dude saying, I got 10 new subscribers just by watching your video or something like that. Those kind of things that, hey, I got so many ideas from your free videos. I got so many, right? That doesn't happen in emails because there's no other people seeing it. It's just the people that.
Okay. And then every 2 weeks we'd do a poll or something to say, hey, what questions do you have for Evan? You're going to take those, and then we do an IG live together for 25 minutes. You bring me the questions. We go live together. You ask the questions. We talk about it. And then we put that video back to the group to say, here are the answers. Go.
And then we shared the group. We shared the video with back with the group.
Right, and then we could use that video for follow-up sequence. These are questions that people who have not bought have about their channels that could be relevant for people who are in
on the fence of just buying or
yeah, exactly. I like it. That's cool. It's worth a shot. I mean, I'm happy to do it. I go live. What's great about it is it fits into what I'm currently doing anyway. I'm going live anyway, right? 5 days a week, I go live at 2:00. So to say, okay, out of 10 of my lives, one of them is going to be
on Instagram, right? You go live every day on Instagram.
Yeah. So 5 days a week, I go live at 2:00. Now, when I travel, it's a little different, but I'm not traveling. So every day at 2:00.
Not for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I've committed to go live every day during the week, but that schedule used to be all over the place because if I'm traveling, maybe I'm in the air at 2:00, right? I mean, you never know. But obviously, right now, nothing's happening. So, in 2 weeks, that's 10 lives. So I'm basically committing one of the 10 lives to being a YouTube conversation between you and me, which I think is decent. Like if I'm doing it all the time, that's not all I talk about is YouTube on my Instagram lives. Most of the questions aren't even about YouTube. So I don't want to only talk YouTube now to my Instagram audience. But if I'm looking at, okay, 10% of my lives are going to be
a different
YouTube
topic
related
than before. Yeah.
Yeah, why not? I mean, that can work. And then we also get content to help the people in the group, and we get content to help the people who are in the email sequence and funnels. Yeah, I think it's easy to do because it already fits within what I'm currently doing, right?
Yeah, we don't want to add more, more friction to your schedule or to your content creation anyway.
Yeah, so it's just a matter of you connecting with my assistant Sandra and you tell me, like
picking the question from there, having a list of it, letting them know.
Yeah,
and
every 2 weeks on a Tuesday or something is YouTube Day. And it may even bring people in from my Instagram audience to say, oh, I didn't even know you had a YouTube course or whatever, right?
Yeah, while we do the IG Live, we can even pin, a comment with the Facebook group URL. And then, hey, if you have questions like this, you can bring them in. You can join the group.
Hold on. I was thinking we pin the YouTube bootcamp because the people in the Facebook group, you want to be people who've seen the webinar already, no? Or do you want people just joining the Facebook group who haven't gone through the webinar process?
Yeah, so just pinning the comment to buy the course, I don't necessarily think, unless it's an ad that we run this video. Yes, I mean, that video obviously could be run as an ad too.
To the webinar, not to buy the course, to the webinar.
Oh, to the webinar. Yeah. That's a whole different thing. Yeah, that makes
the
sense.
link from my webpage right now goes to the webinar, I think, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So whatever that link is, are you like doing all your UTMs on there, so you'll probably give me some new. Although we need a short version of it, because then it has to be an easy link for people to
remember.
They
so
have to type it in, right? Because your UTM things are a mile long.
You can probably just get a domain for that, and then
just get a
redirect it.
domain, and that's it. Yeah, already it's some crazy long UTM. Or I could also get, we could forward, like it could be evancarmichael.com/ whatever you want.
Yeah.
That forwards
and then
to the
forward
long
that
UTM.
to the UTM. Yeah.
Yeah. Something short, evancarmichael.com/ YouTube.
Something short, but then it's evancarmichael.com.
I know that's the hard part. But at least like, so these are my people watching are my fans. So at least
so they know your website.
Hopefully they know what my name is, right? It's like Evan Carmichael. Okay, and then what do I have to remember? /
YouTube or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Or YTB.
Something like that. And then we could pin that, and it could help even generate some more interest for, because all of those questions are going to be about YouTube.
Yeah, because they're just from people. They wouldn't. I mean, the Facebook group being public, it might attract some people. Like Facebook may promote, right? If they see a lot of engagement in the group, they may promote the actual group to a different audience, so more people could see it. But then what happens is, in those 3 questions, when they submit the thing, I have a cool Google Chrome extension that I automate all those group enrollments. It's called Group Funnels. So it's a cool thing that if you ask a question about their email, it pulls the email, it puts it into a Google Sheet. So then with Zapier, we can put them on a sequence. So then every time when somebody joins the group, as long as one of the questions is an email, even if they haven't watched the webinar previously, they'll put on a sequence that they'll get.
Right, but you still end up, like Marion becomes the final gate.
Yeah, to get the questions from them. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So even if somebody posts a question like, "Hey Evan, what's your favorite book to read right now?"
Yeah, we won't pull it on the live.
Right. So the live is all going to be about YouTube.
All about YouTube, yeah.
When I go live normally, I mean, you've joined me a bunch of times. We don't know what the questions are going to be. As we show up, and then we just answer questions. Now it's entrepreneurship, it's mindset, it's social media, but it's all over the place. Where here it's only going to be YouTube talk.
YouTube, yep.
And so anybody who's watching me live and sticks around, we may have a lower audience who stick because they may not care about YouTube, but anybody who watches and sticks around cares about YouTube. And now all the lives get stored as IGTV videos. They don't just go away, right? So we can even put that in the description of the IGTV videos about
join the webinar, watch the webinar, book a call, or join the group or whatever.
Well, go watch the webinar, I think is the next thing. Like learn more about YouTube Growth Bootcamp. So the people who are watching it, who may not even know that I offered it because they've never seen an ad or they didn't go to my homepage or whatever, like, oh, this is cool. What is this? I want to grow my YouTube channel. Where do I go? Like, oh, evancarmichael.com/ whatever, to be determined. Yeah, it's cool. I like it. I think 1 in 10. I also book other people. We do interviews. I have other shows as well that I use the IG live slot for. But I think 1 in 10 is a good number. So twice a month, pretty much, we're going to be getting out 2, sometimes 3 times a month, getting them. Yeah, it's a cool strategy. I think it's.
Yeah, and he plays. It's all about just learning what people actually want to learn more, right? Like you said, those questions can also become, those questions that we have at the end of the webinar. We may add 1 or 2 more at the end out of those, because then that way we just,
and we can chop them up, and like we might get through 8 questions, and those could be 8 different micro videos, as opposed to just one long 25-minute video that they have to watch.
Yeah, and those could
this
be
question go here, right? Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Or even in a follow-up sequence, you can have 10 different questions. Like, hey, you wondering about this? Click and watch this. You're wondering about this, and that? Boom, click this. Right.
I wonder if they might even make decent pre-roll ads on YouTube. You say, hey, Evan.
Ads, yeah.
Hey, Evan, We should make sure that as we do I'm probably going to forget. So remind me, but having the background be the button.
For the live Q&A?
Yeah, like when we go live, I should do it here and then like angle it so that I've got my, like I'll move the
button right there where the books are.
Yeah, exactly. And then, so if somebody's watching, if we ever use it as an ad, you're first, right? And you're going to say, hey, Evan, how do we
do this as an ad?
Whatever, right? How do I get my first 100 subs? And then I'll answer it. But instantly, somebody who is watching the ad sees at least a plaque. It's like, oh, here's a guy who knows.
Oh, that I won't forget for sure, because I know every time when I when I tell you, can you record an ad? Yeah. I always say just make sure if it's the camera, if it's the phone that you're recording with, just make sure you have the plaque in there. So
we'll just have to remember for the IG lives, because it's when I don't usually do the IG lives here. I do the IG lives over there. Somewhere. So that's fine. That's no problem. We'll just have to. If I'm sitting there, he's like, Evan, what are you doing? Come on, man. Let's go. We talked about this, Carmichael. Go over there. Get the button. Yeah. Cool. All right. I love it. Well, I love it. I think there's some momentum there, and it's definitely worth a test, at least talk and see how it goes. And we'll have some reports back for next month.
100%. Yeah. And then also I'm excited to see how the strategy with book calls, but I'm excited about the Facebook group part, because it's mainly, we know how targeted they are. They're not like thousands of people, just random people that just join. It'll be people that
it serves a similar function. Like it's getting feedback from people. The calls gets feedback from people. The dogs are playing.
I keep getting distracted because their dogs, I keep jumping in the back.
The dogs, it was raining outside and they got wet, and like wet dog starts spazzing out. So she wants to play with him, but he doesn't want to play with her. So we'll see what happens. But either way, we're basically getting feedback. The calls are feedback from non-buyers who know about the course. Mm-hmm. The call-in show, or however we're going to call it, the Facebook group is the same people. It's people who haven't bought but have seen the webinar and know a little bit about what the product is. So either way, we're getting feedback on what people are dealing with, that we can turn into answers to hopefully help them. Yeah.
100%. Yep. That's
cool,
the
man.
Whole strategy.
All right. Well, we got some work to do. Thank you for the time. And let's get to it.
We'll get back to work, and then we'll stay in touch in a couple of weeks.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Marion.
Thank you. Take care.
Ciao. Bye. If you want to see the last time Marion and I talked and he broke down my YouTube marketing strategy, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.